Hello and welcome to News9 show The South Indian. My name is Hassan. As usual, I shall bring to you 9 top stories from the south of India. Let me now begin with the first one. Prajwal Revanna nabbed by the special investigation team on charges of sexual assault upon his return to Bengaluru after 35 days. That's the top story. Prajwal arrested. That is the big story coming from the south today. After absconding for 35 days, after hoodwinking the SIT, after giving grief to his aging grandfather, former Prime Minister H.D. Kempegowda, 33-year-old Prajwal Revanna, who was on the run for multiple sexual assault charges since the night of 28 April, was finally arrested by Karnataka police after his plane touched Bengaluru's Kempegowda International Airport at 12:59 a.m. Even before Prajwal fled to Germany on a diplomatic passport, several video clips of women being sexually violated were circulated in and around Hassan. And it is after the SIT constituted by the Karnataka government decided to issue a blue corner notice in his name. The 33-year-old MP who arrived from Munich in Germany was taken to the CID office for interrogation. Thereafter, he left the SIT office to the Bowring and Lady Curzon Hospital in Bengaluru for a medical examination, including checking his blood pressure, blood sugar level and cardiac health. Amid strict security, the SIT is also contemplating a potency test on Prajwal Revanna. Meanwhile, the special investigation team probing sexual abuse allegations against Prajwal issued a second notice also to Bhavani Revanna, Prajwal's mother, in connection with the kidnapping of a woman from KR Nagar in Mysuru district, asking her to appear before it on 1st of June. Bhavani had applied for bail and the SIT has summoned Mother Bhavani Revanna on 31st of May. Let me now go across to my colleague Mohammad Wajiullah for all the latest updates on the biggest story which has come from the south, Prajwal Revanna's nabbing and his arrest. Waji, hi. All right, Waji, my first question to you is, I know you can hear me. The first question is, tell us all that went on from the time that Prajwal Revanna landed in Bengaluru Kempegowda Airport at 12:49 a.m. What all happened and where has the case progressed now?
Well, Sudha, Prajwal landed at around 12:50 and was in the custody of police till around 1 o'clock as soon as he landed, because there was an arrest warrant against him, and the SIT team had also had its officers in the police in the airport. So he was immediately arrested, brought to this SIT office over here, and from here he was given some rest in the night. And at around 12 o'clock, 12:30, we saw him. We saw the SIT team then take him from here to Bowring Hospital, where a medical was done. Like you mentioned, his ECG, blood test and his sugar test, and all these tests were done, and his potency tests were done to make sure whether Prajwal Revanna is actually capable of doing the crimes that he has been accused of. And after that, he was produced in court, and all this while the arguments were fought between Prajwal's lawyer and the prosecution. In this particular case, we've learnt that the judge was very strict, and he also asked the SIT team that on what basis was he arrested. When they said that Prajwal left the country, he was absconding when there was a case against him, the judge even questioned the SIT team that what you're telling me is stories, do you have any proof? Was the FIR filed on Prajwal before he left the country or after he left the country? So it was a strong case that Prajwal's lawyer also had put forward, but the SIT team somehow or the other managed to get 6-day police custody of Prajwal Revanna. And just a few seconds back or a few minutes back, we saw Prajwal just enter the cart again, and all the 3 times that we've seen Prajwal move in and move out from this particular office, we've seen that he's always been escorted by a woman officer. Now, what is the intention of the police is something that the police can tell. But from what we have understood or what we have learned from our sources inside is that the intention is to make him feel guilty about the fact and to get
Absolutely,
to
Vajji,
give
that's,
that
I'm sorry I'm
confidence, building to
interjecting.
the victims.
That is the second section of the story on Prajwal Revanna today, but I want you to tell the viewers about the arrest, about how the investigation will go further. Vajji, will all these women also be questioned? Will there be a thorough investigation so far as Prajwal is concerned? What happens to his mother Bhavani Revanna, because she's supposed to appear? Two notices were sent, no Vajji? One she never came, the second one, and they said you please appear on 31st May, which happens to be tomorrow. So what is going to happen with this Revanna family after 35 days of hoodwinking? The SIT, despite an arrest warrant, despite a blue corner notice, he is landed today, which is close to the election results. That is how I am going to read it, Vajji.
Well, Sudha, today there was a heavy court day also because the entire Prajwal Revanna's family was there for all the hearings, as we all know that the anticipatory bail hearing was there today for Prajwal Revanna, which got cancelled because he was arrested. Then they tried for a fresh bail application which got rejected, and the police got 6-day custody. Now in a few more minutes we will now see the fate of Bhavani Revanna, because a fresh notice has been issued to her also, and she had also filed for an anticipatory bail. It now remains to be seen whether the court accepts those anticipatory bail or not. If it doesn't accept, then Bhavani Revanna will also have to be present here tomorrow in front of the SIT. Now HD Revanna also had filed a petition saying that the kidnapping case that has been leveled against him should be scrapped because there is no truth to those allegations, and it's a conspiracy that has been for which the matter has been adjourned for a later date. But now what happens with Prajwal Revanna is that now that he's bought inside the SIT after getting 6-day custody, now the investigation will begin. Now Prajwal will be faced with, Prajwal will be shown all the videos, his statement will be recorded, he'll be shown those videos, each and every video, and then he'll be asked questions with regards to those videos. He will be asked to identify. His answers will determine how the case will go forward. Apart from that, the victims that the SIT team has as of now, they have only 2 victims who have come forward. So those victims will be confronted with Prajwal Revanna and their statement will also be recorded. After that, they've already sent the electronic devices to the FSL team. Now those devices, they will try to piece together his digital mapping. Where did he go from Bengaluru? Who helped him go from Bengaluru? His call records. Who are we speaking to? Who are the people who are helping him out to move from one place to another? So all these things will be pieced together, and then he will be taken to the crime scenes where all these incidents happened. With all of this together, it will take some time for the SIT to establish and corroborate all these evidences with the witnesses that they have. After this, they will file a charge sheet, and then the case will begin with regards to how will Prajwal Revanna defend himself. As of now, today what we saw in the court is how Prajwal's lawyer strongly defended him, saying that Prajwal came back from Germany to face these allegations, so giving him custody does not require, because he's here in the country and there is no scope of going away. But the SIT emphasized on a custody because they said that there is a pattern and they believe that he might influence the victims also. So with all these cases, now it is crystal clear for the next 6 days, this is going to be the place where Prajwal Revanna will be staying.
Which prison is that? Is it
what will happen tomorrow with regards to
yeah.
what happened with Bhavani Revanna's bail today, whether she'll come or not.
All right, I'm going to take a break, Vajji. After that, I'm going to come to you. I want your camera person to perhaps show the prison where Prajwal Revanna has been kept until 6th of June. Time for a break now, but I'm coming back, and then once again we'll go to my colleague Mohammad Jiullah with all the latest updates on the Prajwal Revanna case. Stay with us.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
That ink is a semi-permanent dye called the indelible ink.
We are the sole manufacturer of this indelible ink.
Don't try to repair something which is working.
And if you have facial recognition, you can go vote in any booth anywhere based on where you are, and then it will be recorded that you can't vote anywhere else again.
Can we retire indelible ink and use biometrics? Theoretically, my answer would be yes.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Healthy mind can reside only in a healthy body.
That is the only cure for the restless mind.
Happiness is a choice.
The fastest way to be happy is to make somebody else happy.
World premiere on 2nd June, only on News9 Live.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
All right, we are discussing this. Prajwal arrested, and before I go to the second section of this story, which is focusing on the women of Hassan, let me ask one more question to Mohammad Wajiullah, my colleague, who's been reporting since morning on this big story. Waji, I want you to tell the viewers about which prison has Prajwal Revanna been lodged in. Is it the Agrahara, Parappana Agrahara? Which prison is it where this man will stay till 6th of June, maybe thinking about all the accusations of having violated thousands of women, Waji?
Well, so as of now, he will not be taken to prison. He is being stationed here at the CID office, which has now been taken over by the SIT team to investigate this matter. So he will be here in this office over here, and there are makeshift prison over here in which they keep him. As we know, Prajwal today, while speaking to the judge, when the judge asked him, was there any assault that was done to you, he said that there was no assault, but the toilet that was provided to me was stinking and the room was unkept. So these are the things that Prajwal said to the court, which the court said that they'll have to settle it with their lawyers. But this is the place where they have stationed. We are not allowed to enter this place as of now. He will be here for the next 6 days under the supervision of the SIT. His questioning, everything with regards to Prajwal Revanna will happen here as of now. In another few minutes, we'll also get to know the fate of Bhavani Revanna. If that anticipatory bail also gets cancelled, then we will also see her come here tomorrow and be with her son for the questioning. It now depends on the SIT team. How long will it take for them to get HD Revanna also, because they've filed for cancellation of his bail petition also. So in another few minutes we'll get to know about Bhavani, and in some time we'll also get to know about HD Revanna. But this is the place where they will keep him for the time being, Sudha.
All right. Thank you so much, Wajiullah, for joining us on this broadcast. And we will, of course, go back to Wajiullah as and when there are more updates, like he said, on maybe Bhavani Revanna on the case. Now, second section is on women. The women. And the one sight which will forever endure in the Prajwal Revanna's arrest is when a posse of women police personnel led by women IPS officers waited to execute the arrest warrant against him in sexual assault cases. During the procedure of executing the arrest warrant, he was not only flanked by women police but also led by two IPS officers, Suman D. Penekar and Seema Latkar. Once again, the two IPS officers on your screens right now, look at all the women. These are except for the driver of the jeep. If we can show the visual once again, these are all women. Women police personnel led by two women IPS officers, Suman D. Penekar and Seema Latkar. The message was not missed on anyone. After what the alleged accused Prajwal Revanna heaped on the women, there is a collective sense of shame, sense of loss and also ostracization of the women by their families and neighborhood. On 30th of May, there was a Hassan Chalo march organized by several organizations protesting against the Revanna family's exploits. It is being said that the women survivors include police women, social workers and of course many domestic helps. Those who protested were not just women and others belonging to the opposition parties, but also included women from the Janata Dal Secular, as well as those who felt a deep sense of shame. What awaits the women of Hassan? Have we as a society done justice to the survivors of Hassan? Let's debate. And to speak more on the issue, I am now being joined by the head of the Women's State Commission, Dr. Nagalakshmi Chaudhary, and the other guests I will let you know as and when I have information about them. Nagalakshmi Chaudhary, thank you for joining us. You know, what is happening, Dr. Chaudhary, is that for days there is a sense of shame, fear amongst all these women. You know, they feel very scared that, you know, that if we come out and speak, apparently the men in their families have also turned against them. So I want to ask you that, you know, this has become very political now, Dr. Chaudhary. You know, JDS versus Congress, DKS versus HDK, etc., etc. But our focus, because you are a woman who actually wrote that letter to Siddaramaiah, I want to talk to you about, you know, what now happens, what kind of security are you giving to the women of Hassan?
Yeah, as Sudha, good evening.
Hi.
And yes, arrest of Prajwal Revanna sends, you know, it's a kind of initial victory and sends a sense of somewhere you know, a kind of relief for so many victims and the women who are watching this. And yes, of course, the victims have been already who've been contacting SIT through the helpline. Probably it's been kept. I mean, it's kept confidential because the first three cases, the way the media exposed them, now completely SIT is maintaining the confidentiality of all the victims. But yes, victims are given protection and confidentiality, and since SIT is you know, investigation, we have nothing to say. We have to wait for the law to take its course. And yes, the pride where it comes to women officers, as you said, Seema and the other IPS officer who went and arrested Prajwal Revanna, you know, you feel so you know, proud, like, you know, the women, it sends a message that women are not a weaker section. You know, and SIT as a Karnataka police has sent a message throughout the nation that women police have arrested him, and yeah, he has gone through the medical tests, and however the law goes, we have to wait for the
All right. Okay.
how it will take a turn.
All right, Dr. Chaudhary. Rekha Agarwal, who's a social activist and senior advocate, Supreme Court, is also joining us, and so is Brinda Adige, very well-known woman activist. I want to come to you, Rekha Agarwal. Rekha Agarwal, this has been going on in the initial days of May. You know, this happened on the night of 28th of April. The man absconded. The videos were shared by everyone happily. You know, let me tell you, we as a channel did not play it. I will never play it out. But a lot of people exchanged it. It actually became like, you know, lascivious kind of risque material for men to have fun, as always. I want to ask you. And then when many journalists went to these women, they went to them, they said, don't come here. We don't want to talk. Just leave me alone. My own husband, my son, they're all asking me, what did you go to the Hassan household to, sorry, I beg your pardon, Revanna household to do? You know, they did not understand that we were exploited. Rekha Agarwal, what kind of a security can we give, or a safety net can we give to women like this who do not have social capital, who do not have any kind of agency or capital in society?
This is high time, so that, women who are working in all sectors, particularly the lower sectors, unorganized sectors, should be treated as an industry, under the Industrial Disputes Act. Especially, women who are employed at lowly jobs like housemaids, there is no kind of protection at all to them. And that is why people like Revanna, the all-powerful people, as they say, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So this is a crystal clear case where a powerful person, in the case of the have and the have-nots, where a powerful person has exploited the fact that he is in power, he's got money with him, he's got politics with him, so he, being in a cushy seat, has exploited somebody who probably had no voice, who had no choice but to keep quiet and swallow a lot of indignities, including sexual molestation, rape and whatever, and obscene videos, which are all covered now under Section 354 and 376 IPC at every level. So I think that, not only have the laws become very, very stringent, and I do not find any flaws with our laws, especially after the Nirbhaya case, every kind of crime which amounts to a violation of the principle of zero tolerance by a woman, is a crime. So even if a man stares at a woman or peeps at her while she's in the room, that is a crime. So women need to be now protected. There should be a
but the onus. You see, the law is there. It's always been there. But then is it applied? Is the question. Brinda Adige, let me bring you in, and I'm going to play that visual for you. An all women posse of policemen and 2 senior IPS officers, Seema and Suman. That's the message being sent out. Brinda Adige, what do you make of this message? Do you think this is in itself very symbolic that you have allegedly exploited so many women? There you have. You've been nabbed by women. Brinda Adige, if you can unmute, please.
Yeah, absolutely, Sudha. This is symbolic, yes, that this man, this predator, preyed on the vulnerabilities of women, because we know that in a patriarchal society, it's very difficult for women to come out and speak about these kind of things. They might have got caught in some kind of a vulnerability. Sending all women police officers to nab him. I would want to use the word nab, though this man came out of the airport, walking with his hands in his pocket and all of it. But there were these women police officers waiting to nab him. I wish they handcuff him, but anyway, they did not do that. And take him into custody. And present him as per law by procedure to the CID, and then the warrant and all of those kind of things. A clear message that you don't mess with women and think that you can get away with it. Today, though you mentioned that a lot of women have not come forward, are not coming forward because of the shame, because of the indignity, there is a message also going very clearly from the government that they mean business. That this guy has been arrested, is in custody now for 6 days, a case is going to be built, and now the courts have to ensure that he does not get bail, though bail is a right in this particular case, he must not get bail. But the message is also, women, if you want, come out and speak.
Yeah, but
Strengthen
who will
the
make
case.
them, the onus? Dr. Chaudhary, I want to ask you because I have to take a break. Dr. Chaudhary, the onus, the responsibility of seeing that the women come out and speak fearlessly, where does it rest, Dr. Chaudhary? Who should be protecting them, Dr. Chaudhary? Who should be telling them, don't be scared?
The message is already gone. They have to come out and their family has to stand by them. You see what is it is, the women can face the society but not go against their family. And as you know, most of the victims are, sorry.
Please. All right. I think we've lost our connection to Dr. Chaudhary. So, Brinda, why don't you answer that? Don't you think that the State Commission for Women, the onus rested with them also to make these women feel comfortable? But who will take the onus, Brinda Adige?
The state has to take the onus, Sudha. At the end of the day, it is the responsibility of the state and its agencies to extend that confidence, to instill that faith in the victims, in the women, and also talk to their families. You can find ways and means. It is the responsibility of the state and yes, the State Commission. There are different ways that we can go out and convince the families, convince the women to come out and speak about it. All may not want to register an FIR, but statements can be made. And our laws are very robust. You can make the statements either before the SIT or probably before a magistrate or a judge.
Yes, Brinda, the onus is not on the women, no, to say let their families allow them. I mean, this will go on, Brinda. The family will never allow you. You think my men will allow me, not me, but a woman like, who's in Hassan, my men will say, okay, go talk to the SIT. It never happens. It's about...
Even if the women come forward, Sudha, the families are not going to allow them. The families are bearing a lot of humiliation. The families have been even asked to vacate from their rented homes. So it is not going to happen so easily. But we must continue to try. But instilling that confidence is a everyday job. That is a job to tighten up all the loose ends that has kept there by the government for so many months. So the responsibility is with the government.
All right. And on that note, let me thank all of you, Dr. Chaudhary. Sorry, your connection. We lost your connection. Rekha Agarwal, I'm sorry, but I have to go to the next section. And Brinda Adige, as always, what a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you indeed. Time for a break, but when I come out, I'm going to discuss the political fallout of this man, Prajwal Revanna.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबां केसरी.
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
That ink is a semi-permanent dye called the indelible ink.
We are the sole manufacturer of this indelible ink.
Don't try to repair something which is working.
And if you have facial recognition, you can go vote in any booth anywhere based on where you are, and then it will be recorded that you can't vote anywhere else again.
Can we retire indelible ink and use biometrics? Theoretically, my answer would be yes.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
healthy mind can reside only in a healthy body.
That is the only cure for the restless mind.
Happiness is a choice.
The fastest way to be happy is to make somebody else happy.
World premiere on 2nd June, only on News9 Live.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
All right, after the break, the third section of this story, Prajwal has been arrested. What is the third section of this story? There are different impact that this will have. The political fallout of the BJP, JDS combined. How is it going to impact? Because let's not forget, ultimately this story is all about politics. When the JDS signed up with the BJP in Karnataka, it was labelled by many as an unholy alliance. For they not only have a bitter past, but also went hammer and tongs against each other on several occasions. You please go and figure out they have used such words against each other. After the Bharatiya Janata Party's drubbing in the assembly elections and a loss amongst both the Lingayats and the Vokaligas, because obviously if you lose elections, you also lose your kind of standing amongst these two influential communities in Karnataka, Lingayats, Vokaligas, the party decided to hitch its bandwagon to the only regional party in Karnataka worth its salt, the Janata Dal Secular, which also of course is recognized as a party for and of the Vokaligas. But after the Prajwal Revanna case involving many women, the BJP swiftly distanced itself and said, what is said in such situation? Let the law take its own course. We of course know the case of Kempegowda, senior BJP leader who said that he had forewarned B.Y. Vijendra, the state unit president of the BJP, said it was completely ignored. They decided, no, it's all okay, it will go away. It is another
program of Shri Prajwal Revanna to go outside India is sponsored by BJP. On the day of 26th after polling, he was sent immediately with a diplomatic passport outside. And today, after all the phase election is over, it is come. Because last 10 days, if he would have come, in the media you would have showed his activity, where he is gone, where he is arrested, all the space would be taken away. That is why the BJP, Narendra Modi ji, Amit Shah ji, our Yediyurappa ji and our Vijendra ji all planned together and sent the Prajwal Revanna outside.
Will this blot of Prajwal Revanna have a political fallout on the alliance? Is it curtains for the Janata Dal Secular? Let's debate. Dr. Baswaraj Itnal, senior journalist, is joining us. Vijay Grover, also senior journalist, and Professor Chambi Puranik, senior political analyst. All of them are joining us to speak about this particular aspect. So, Dr. Itnal, we are inching close to almost bringing a close or curtains on this horrific case. I mean, of course, we'll have to wait for the investigations to happen. But look at it, for 35 days, the young man, 34-year-old, stays abroad. Then, puts a video saying, sorry, Tata Garu, whatever, and comes back. Don't you think? The JDS and the BJP can go blue in their face, but don't you think, Dr. Itnal, it's going to have a major fallout on the alliance?
See, now, Sudha, what was the objective of BJP in entering in an alliance with JDS? The objectives, the goals were limited to Karnataka.
Yes.
They didn't have any national strategy with JDS.
Huh.
Now, has that purpose been served? Obviously not. And if at all anything has happened in last more than 1 month of media spectacle, that has clearly finished JDS. That has finished Prajwal Revanna's any further political ambitions, at least for another 10 years. So, such being the case, And if you notice, even the confidence of BJP has been waning from first phase through seventh phase. They don't have the same confidence as they had before the first phase. So combined with that, an unnerved BJP and a totally disgraced JDS, how can they go forward? Is it even a political strategy to go ahead with them anymore? So obviously, it is just 2 more days. Probably all these parlays will begin the once tomorrow the exit poll results are out. But anyways, the final scene will be visible on 4th of June, probably by late afternoon. So, but anyways, the common sense, as a political observer, it is very much clear that in such a scenario, a BJP which was supposed to gain something from this alliance is on back foot, has lost its face. So obviously, this is not sustainable.
All right. Vijay Grover, what is your thinking? Because considering that the man has been sent, he's been kept in a kind of makeshift prison until 6th of June, and skeletons will now tumble out of the cupboards sooner rather than later. Like Dr. Itnal said, I also feel in order to capture the vocaligas who are supposedly always with the Janata Dal Secular, the BJP decided, let's sign up a MOU with them. But with this, even for the future, I am saying even if you forget about this and look at other elections also, both are far away. Don't you think pretty much the JDS's locus standi does not exist? It's been obliterated completely.
Absolutely, so we've discussed about this in the past as well in your show, and has spoken about how it is like, time up for the JDS. In the last 17 hours, we've been monitoring very closely Prajwal Revanna's arrival from midnight yesterday and even today when I was at the SIT office and then at the Boring Hospital where his medical test was done. One thing was very clear that, even though the police had made elaborate arrangements anticipating that the JDS workers would, come out and rally or support of him and, would gather at the places where the police was taking him. But the fact remains that there was nobody. And that clearly shows the kind of, the way the party, the JDS has distanced itself from Prajwal Revanna, and that could be a strong message to the Gowda family, very clearly. And if you were to look at also the video that H.D. Kumaraswamy put out yesterday of, he going with his son, Nikhil, and wife for a safari in Kodu. So that was something which very clearly shows that, the questions are being raised as to whether for Prajwal Revanna and his father, it is, curtains up and, the party is trying to distance from himself. That could be something. And clearly, as you said, that the MOU that was signed for an alliance clearly now raises questions because, the vote bank of the Vocaligas is something that is up for grabs, while, Kumaraswamy would want to retain some of it still with him. But the BJP and the Congress is sparing no effort to ensure that, South Karnataka, where the Vocaligas are very strong, comes to their side. And we've seen this happen with the kind of, messaging that is going out from within the parties that are concerned. But question that comes to mind again and again is, while we are talking of the political future, political career of Prajwal Revanna, the fact is nobody is talking about, the women. And that is something which I was expecting. That's something which is very fortunate. Neither the BJP nor the Congress have come out very strongly and demanded.
They don't care. I don't think they care. That's why I did an entire section, because the posse of women, police women, Seema and Soman, who nabbed him, that in itself is a message for me, for you, Vijay. And I know they do not care about the women. They are only trying to score political points. That's how the cookie crumbles in this country. No one will remain Sandesh Khali. No one will remember Hassan. They will only remember, after 4 June, I got this, I got that, and life goes on. Professor Chambi Puranik, political analyst. Professor Puranik, it is both, my friends say it is curtains, it is over for JDS. But I want to ask you, the BJP, the only state they ruled in South India was Karnataka. What were they thinking, sir? It also shows that such a matured party which rules India even till today, unless the results show something else, they also made a big mistake. And now it seems like JDS is over, but even the BJP, people will say if they can't even make this judgment, what are they worth?
Well, Sudha, I agree with both Mr. Etnal and Grover. They have taken the right kind of approach to analyze the developments, political developments. And also, I was about to tell about the distancing of H.D. Kumaraswamy and his family from the kind of whatever the humiliation and the court cases that are going on, all that. That clearly shows that I think Mr. H.D. Kumaraswamy has to think of his own relevance in the public life or politics of Karnataka. And Mr. Devegowda, I think, whatever the kind of image he had, that has been taken a big slap on the face of the family also. So that is the one thing. And second thing is, the people of Karnataka are not, happy about the things that happened between BJP and JDS. Just for the sake of two seats. For the sake of 2 seats, or the third one probably is doubtful. You made a kind of alliance which was uncalled for. That's what the people are definitely, they are reflecting. And the BJP at the center, I think this must have been kind of the influence or image of Mr. Devegowda rather than the local units or local leaders that are there. So I think at the national level, Mr. Prime Minister and Amit Shah and Nadda and others, they thought that aligning with Mr. H. Devegowda, former Prime Minister, they are going to have a solid support of Vakaligas against Mr. D.K. Shivkumar and the Congress, the kind of thing that happened out. So in 2023 election, they have seen the signals also. In spite of it, they made an alliance and now they are facing the humiliation. What in a big proportion, kind of, the kind of public anger or the kind of feelings that people say that these people have no respect for women. So when you have no respect for women, what sort of political party you are doing, or you are building, or you are trying to refurbish?
All
so
right.
I think it needs a kind of reflection or introspection. I think from that angle, I think it is a big setback for both BJP and
so
JDS.
it's
the future of JDS,
absolutely. And for Prajwal Revanna case has put everyone on a back foot. The dignity of women in Karnataka, the political future of JDS, and of course, the BJP's ability to judge a partner who has got them into such hot waters. Thank you so much, Professor Chambi Puranik, Dr. Itnal and Vijay Grover. I've completely run out of time. There is some breaking news coming in. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you indeed. And now, we are going to talk about Prime Minister Modi's spiritual sojourn, Day 2 in Kanyakumari, where he is in the middle of deep meditation. There you saw Prime Minister Modi deep in meditation, Kanyakumari on Day 2. And now, as promised, I leave you with some of the other top headlines from the south of India. Take a look. And we're getting some news which has just come in at this hour. Several people have been injured in a horrific knife attack in the southwestern German city of Mannheim.